Hey guys, welcome back to Resin Bell. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, but I was working on this project and I wanted to go ahead and share it with you. So today we're going to be working on a little something to display our dinosaurs from the Miniverse Dino series from Jurassic Park. And so I've created a little kit for displaying everything. And I figure we'll just go through it and I'll show you all of the pieces. So there are 4 of these, all the same. 2 of these. 2 of these. And all of those go together. And I'll show you what to do with those momentarily. We have 1 front piece. This goes on the front of the cabinet. We have a top piece. This goes on the top. This is the back. It's the skinniest one of all of them. It is the back piece. We have 2 of these trying to decide which direction. Okay, so 2 sides. They have a notch cut out. That's the front top corners, and those will go here. And then we have a bottom piece right there. So we're gonna put this together. Oh, one more thing. We've got 2 circle pieces and 1 square, and then we have a computer monitor and a computer. And then you're also going to need to hang on to your packaging. This was one of the egg containers. So this piece right here is going to become our computer monitor screen, which is perfect because it has a little bit of a curve. But if you don't have this still, you can just use a piece of trash plastic, like a doll case or anything like that. So first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna just pick one of these sides, it doesn't matter which one, and we're gonna glue some things together. So we're gonna glue this, I'm gonna set it and butt it up against the side here. It does not go on top, it goes on the same level and just glued together right there. This one does go on top and it goes right there, and you'll glue it here and here, and then you'll glue this here. Okay, so I'm going to take a couple of pieces of tape. This is just painter's tape, such as, and then a couple on this side here. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm just going to take my art glitter glue and just gonna add some on. My nozzle's a little stopped up because I forgot to put the pin in it when I finished with it last time. There we go. Now it's trying to. Okay. Just gonna line it up. And then wipe my extra glue off. Now I'm just going to place some of this glue here. And just going to place this here. Make sure it's lined up. put one right over here as well. I need to move that down a little bit. And kind of push it out, make sure it's lined up with the edges before it completely dries, and I think it looks pretty good. Get rid of my excess glue while it's still wet. Okay. And the next thing is to glue on the top before you put the other end on. I'm just going to glue it on top and against the end. And then the corners are going to line up. So the top of this is going to line up with this corner here. So it'll be easy to get it lined up straight. Like so. Oops. Okay, now while that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and put this other end on here. Okay. And there we go. Okay, it's looking pretty good. All right, now then we can put on, well, no, we need to wait. Okay, so now while that's drying, we'll do something with this. So we're going to flip it over. We're going to take our square. We're going to glue that on by just adding some glue to the corners. Just a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just don't want to put any glue in the center, okay? We're going to put that right down over the top of that circle. Okay? Looks just like that. I'll let that dry for just a minute, so that it doesn't slide around, because I do not want to get glue on the inside of that piece. So let it dry a little bit. We'll come back. All right, now that that's a little bit dry, I'm going to take a little Sharpie and I'm going to color in the very center of that circle. I would use paint, but I don't want the thickness of paint. It doesn't have to be perfect, just the very center. And we'll let that dry. Okay, while that's drying, I'm just going to get a little bit of acrylic paint, not very much, just a little bit. I do not want to paint the edges, I just want to paint the top, okay? Just going to paint it very thinly. I don't want to get paint down in the hole, I just want to get this a little bit of color. Very thin. Basically, I'm going to wipe it till it's dry. You could also use like a watered down acrylic paint. So I'm going to let that dry for a minute. I'm going to add just a little bit more. This is really thin. I'm going to wipe the edges because I don't want the edges to have any paint on them. Okay, now I'm going to take this, I'm going to drop it right down in the middle. Okay, and then we're going to take this circle here and we're going to glue it down inside of this circle. But we're going to be very careful not to get any glue into this inner circle. Going to take a little bit of glue around the outside edge, not very much, not enough to squeeze out, and then I'm going to carefully make sure that it's all lined up, and that looks pretty good. Okay, let that dry. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to jump over to these. Two of these, and 4 of these. So we're going to put these together. These are 4. We're going to make some little holders for our little vials. Make some test tube holders. So start this off by doing this and this. So make sure that your long arm is on the bottom. You don't want to like flip it upside down and it be upside down. So, okay. Do that. Okay, and this will kind of give you an idea of how tall it's supposed to be. So put that in, and that will tell you where it's supposed to be. It's a little fiddly at first, but once you get the other side on, it'll pretty much stay like it's supposed to. So there's that. Let me grab my ruler here. It's really handy if you do this over a ruler, that way you know if it's square or not. Cutting mat will work as well, and you can see if it's square. You can't see anything. Sorry guys. So I just put it on a grid. You can use a cutting mat that has a grid, anything to kind of give you, you know, your 90-degree angles will be helpful. So we'll do that. Okay. And then once again, okay, let that dry. All right, so before I get to putting this front on, this front will glue straight down like that. I'm gonna go ahead and paint the inside of the box so that I can get to it easier. Make sure I get all of the different angles and such. So I'm just gonna paint that up real quick. Okay, so I've got a first layer. I think that's probably pretty good for the front. I don't have a lot of gray paint, so I have to be careful. I am ready to glue the front on. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. Okay. And yoink. Okay, grab some tape, tapey tape, and tape it down once again. All right, that's looking pretty good. Lined up pretty decently, and let that dry for a minute. Okay, so now that that front piece is dry, that's what she's looking like. And now I'm gonna take my two finished little test tube holders, and I'm going to glue them on the side. Now you don't have to do this. You could just leave them off and, you know, have them setting wherever you want them to be setting. That's up to you. I'm going to glue mine on the sides just so that they're always, you know, connected. I don't have to worry about losing them or misplacing them, nothing like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put mine on the side. You could put yours wherever you want to put them. Okay, so now I have those on both ends, and as soon as they're dry enough, I can go ahead and paint those. But I'm going to just go ahead and start on the top here and just paint it up. Now when you get to the front, be sure that you don't get any paint down inside here. The reason for that is because your key is going to slide down in there and you're going to be able to turn it. And if you get glue or paint or anything like that in there, you won't be able to turn it. It'll be stuck in one position. So be very careful. Okay guys, so I have put my first 2 coats on this, very thin coats, but you guys can do it how you want. I do have just a little bit of the brown showing through here and there, and that is by design for the one I'm doing, and that will become clear in another video. I just wanted to show you how to put this together in this one. So your little capsules for your little guys can sit right down in these little slots. And it does hold 3. Now then, the reasoning behind that is that, so when you open these up, these little ones like this, you can put several, you know, around in a circle, and you can display a bunch of these in one capsule. You don't have to keep, you know, have so many capsules, right? And this one, if you take this, move this stuff out of here for right now, and you flip it upside down, you're going to have room for 3 of these, and there are 3 of these, so you can close it and still be able to close your lid. So you'll be able to put 3 of those. And now there are 3 of those and 9 of the egg shapes, so 5 in one and 4 in another. You could put your other eggs in the other end. I haven't made this one yet, but so that's the idea behind that. Anyway. So then I showed you this before. You have your little species vials right here, and those will go right down in there. And so you'll be able to see the little species numbers on the side. So there's one there, and then there's one on the other side. And so you have two of those. And then the front, obviously, you have these little bio sign keys, and I designed that so that you can push one in. It's not going to fall out. It fits in really snugly, and so it can just sit there. You know, you kind of just have it there, and you can turn that to kind of turn a key if you want, just to kind of incorporate that as well. And then all of your other goodies are going to fit down in here. And, you know, you can stack them up and add however many you want. And I think that's going to be a fun way to display. Now, I did go ahead and include the computer. And this is similar to the one that was used on screen in Jurassic Park. And so I'm just going to take my packaging, and I'm going to cut it out and glue it to the front there. And then I'm going to find a movie still of the Jurassic Park maps, or maybe him going, you know, that would be kind of fun. And then glue it to the back. And then this will go in the background there, but I'll kind of show you that at a later time, and then you can kind of glue those in however you want. So that's just kind of like a little bonus that you can, you know, create if you want. Okay, so I took my little TV, my monitor, and I put I used the packaging from the eggs, this part that's kind of slightly domed just a little bit, and I cut it and I glued it behind the TV screen. You can kind of see it there. It's kind of just cut it back until it was as flat as I could make it. And then I took the printout. I will leave a link in the description box below that has the miniature images that I made up, and I just printed those out and put it behind. I also did his little ID, and what I did for that is I just printed it out and then I sandwiched it between two pieces of tape, and then cut the tape out to create a little ID folder, put a little string on, and then kind of hung it on his monitor. Now there is another one as well. I do provide this one for you as well. Now it is a PDF with all three of these images. So if you print it, make sure you print it at its original size, not fit to page or anything, because that will make it too small. So I just glued that, or taped it actually with some tape onto the back, and now I'm going to kind of hot glue these two pieces together kind of at an angle so that they can stand up on their own. And so I just have to decide, put that up there where I had it, where I want it, and what will be the best spot for it. I think probably like this. So take some hot glue. Oops, that's not going to work. And hot glue that together. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to show you kind of up close what it looks like, and that is the screenshot of like the map of Jurassic Park. And then, you know, of course this was the one of him going you didn't say the magic word. But since I was putting his little ID card on there, I didn't want to put the other one on, but yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And I've got, you know, the little Barbasol can. Obviously it's not to scale. This is made to kind of give a nod. The Barbasol can is quite large, which is okay. I'm pretty cool with that. So we'll move on. But yeah, for that is the whole display. Now I don't have all of the eggs yet. I just have these 3. My kiddo got 1. So I am going to be kind of decorating this up and doing some fun things with it next time. But for right now, there are a few kits available if you want to check out my Etsy store. The link is in the description box below. There's going to be just a few of them to begin with, because I don't know, you know, how many people will actually be interested in this, but I had fun making it and designing it, and hopefully you guys will like it too. All right, so one thing I decided to do is I'm just going to take this off, these little rings, and I'm just going to leave that flat so that you can just set your stuff there. That way, you know, it's a little hard to paint down in those grooves, and you know, it may or may not fit great depending on what kind of paint you use or whatever. And I think it's just fine just setting there. I think it still looks good. So I think, you know, if you're getting one of these kits and yours doesn't have these, don't worry about it. It's supposed to be that way. This is a prototype. And so, you know, I'm working things out. So I think I'm just going to create that so that it's flat and it will work just fine. You can set 2 of those there. So I think it's going to be cool. So, all right, there we go. So, all right, hit that like button and that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.